Then next is form lines. Form lines are the contour lines but show only approximate height. They are only showing the approximate height, not the exact above the sea level. So these are used to indicate the elevations of the height which are not accessible for proper survey. Next is spot height. Spot height, they are showing the spot height with black dot with some numbers, and these are the samples of spot height, like black dot with 240, that is the spot height of that particular point. Spot height means the height of the point above mean sea level in black dot with particular number. Then triangulation method. Triangulation method, in this method they are showing the height of the particular place which is solved through the trigonometrical method or the trigonometry method. So with these numbers they are showing you the top triangulatory height. With triangle they are giving you the number triangulated height. Next is benchmark. Benchmarks are always denoted with the BM with particular number. This is the example of benchmark. You will get these kind of numbers on topographical sheets, and these are the permanent survey points, or the you can say the stone builders which are pointed on some place for the particular place height or the level. The next part is very important. Contours. What are contours? Contours are the imaginary lines joining places having the same elevation above mean sea level. This is a simple definition for contour and very important because you will get the definition of contour in your exam. Contour lines are brown lines which are depicted on map to show the landform, and these brown lines are having some specific numbers too for showing you the meter height of a particular area or the elevation of that particular area. So the method of solving relief features through contour is very useful and versatile. Here is the definition part. A contour line is an imaginary line joining all places which are all at same height. All the areas which are having same height, all lines are joined with the imaginary lines. So these are the basic features of contour lines. Firstly, a contour line is drawn to show places of equal height. Then contour lines and their shapes represent the height and slope of the gradient of the landform. Closely spaced contour represents steep slopes, and while widely spaced contour represent gentle slopes. Next is when two or more contour lines merge with each other, they represent features of vertical slope such as cliff, waterfall. Then two contours of different elevation usually do not cross each other. Different elevation contours, they are not crossing each other. These are the index contour. Index contour in which the scale is representing the contour elevation. It's just like the 1:50,000 scale, it is representing the drawn at the vertical interval of 20 meter. Within 20 meter interval, they have drawn all the contours. Like the first one, the first darker brown line is called the index contour. From 20, it starts, and after every fifth line is darker, that means it covered the 20 meter distance, 20 into 5 distance, that is the 100 meter. After that 100, again the fifth line, if we will go to the fifth line, next one, that will again shaded in the brown color, the darker brown, that is the index contour, sorry. Now the essentials of contours. Essentials of contour. Contour lines are used to represent the various landforms, and I will show you how these contour lines are representing landforms. This is the figure of steep and gentle slope. So this side is totally steep and this side is great. This side is steep and this side is gentle, and they are showing through the contour height like this. They are representing the steep and gentle slopes. These are the numbers for contour. This type of figure you will get on the map, not this type. This is the actual figure and this is the figure on map. And map part, they will show you this type of figure, a slope part in the contour lines. This is the type of ridge you will get on the map. The brown line are representing the ridge form. Actual ridge formation is like this, but the middle part is the peak of the ridge. The 3000 meter, that means the height of that particular ridge. Outer part is the lower surface area which is connected with the surface. Next is representation of conical hill. You can see the center part, that means the conical height is 600 meter. It starts from 100 meter, that is the area which is connected on the land. This is the figure for V-shaped valley, like this, cone-shaped. Next is the water divide. Water divide is represented through this type of figure on the map. Actual is this, but on the map you will get this type of figure. Next is cliff. Cliff you will get this type of figure, but actual is this type. So next important type is direction. Direction is very important because through direction point you will get the idea how we will solve this map. So you already know the directions are of two types, cardinal and intermediate directions. Cardinal directions are four main directions: north, south, east and west, and intermediate directions which are coming in between these cardinal directions, like in northeast direction, in between the north and east direction, northeast direction, in between south and east, southeast, in between south and west, southwest, in between north and west, northwest direction. So through that we are marking the location. They have given, in sometimes they have given only the north part. Always toward your right hand side is east and toward your left hand side west. In intermediate you will mark according to that. So the next thing is you will get the question to mark particular location on topographical sheet. I will tell you how to solve that question. Suppose this is the short term for topographical sheet and they will tell you to mark the direction of Nimbora from village. Suppose these are the two settlement and they will ask you find out the direction of Nimbora from village Mitan. So from village Mitran you will mark the location point, this type of direction. So upper part is north, here is south and this side east. It is directly in the same line. So this Nimbora village located toward the east side of Mitan village. So this is the direction point. You will get this question through this. The measuring distance and calculating area. How you will calculate distance? To calculate distance we are using two types of method. The first one is direct method and the second one is indirect method. In direct method you will directly find out location from one point to another. Suppose this is a small topographical sheet and they will ask you question, find out direct distance between village Gulabganj and village Pritampura. So you will mark the center point of this village and center point of this village, and with the scale you will mark the distance between both the villages and you will get the answer. In the indirect form, same question they are asking, calculate the distance between these two villages through the indirect method. Indirect method when you are using thread. Thread means you have to locate one village to another village with some passage, with kind of one road connectivity or the village side or the river or some whatever they will ask you in the question. According to that you have to find out the location of the next one village. So from here we will mark the next one village. Through the thread we will count the area and after that we will calculate that thread area with the scale and afterward divide it with 2. That is the exact kilometer of that particular distance of village. The next is drainage. What is a drainage? Drainage means the basin. Describe an area drainage collectively by the network of river along with its tributaries and sub-tributaries of a various dimensions. An area drained by a single river is called its catchment area. So on the topographical sheet or the topographical survey sheets, you will get three types of drainage. First one is dendritic. Dendritic pattern develops in a region which is made of rocks having uniform structure. So this type of structure you will get in the dendritic form. These are the dendritic drainage pattern. The rocky surface, the areas which are having rocky surface, in those areas you will get the dendritic type of drainage. Next is trellised. Trellised drainage pattern develops in the region which is made up of alternate belt of hard and soft rocks. Like this, white patches are there on topographical sheet. At that place you will get the trellised type of. Trellised in a one branch, after that one branch here, then next is here. These type of the trellised figures. Next is Radial means, radial is this type of structure you will get. Radial drainage pattern develops on a dome or the volcanic cone. Volcanic areas you will get this type of drainage, radial. So the next is the terms related to the drainage pattern. In this part, you will get the question of the to which direction it is flowing. At that point, you have to find out the spot height point, and through the spot height point, you will get the idea at which point or in which side that river is flowing. Next is man-made and natural features. These type of man-made and natural features are depicted on the topographical survey maps. Man-made features like red blocks, scare box are permanent huts. Red is scare box but not with the filled one, the temporary huts. Causeways are the double red line. Then lime kiln with this round circle with the 1 point. Annual fair. Then metal road are of this type of structure. You will get all these symbols you will get on the topographical maps. You have to go through from these type of symbols. Next is means of transport in the relation to relief. What type of means of transport you will get on the topographical sheets. The symbols for cart track, pack track, metal road, unmetal road, and footpath with bridge. And the main towns well connected by metal road show economic development of the area, and it is the indication of trade being carried on. When you will get the metal road, that means the areas are connected with each other, or the areas or towns are connected with each other for trade purpose. So you can say that the persons, those who are living there, they are indulging in the trade. Causeways. What are causeways? Causeways are the raised platform across a dry stream. During the dry season, when the streams dries up, people make a habit of crossing it, and this is the footway is formed. So that's why the footway is formed. That those areas are called the causeways. Presence of many causeways shows that the areas get seasonal or scanty rainfall. This is the indication that why are the what is the indication of causeways? It indicates that particular area gets seasonal or scanty rainfall. Then next is land use or the location of natural vegetation. Natural vegetation, what type of area you will get according to their color, you will get the idea what type of cultivation is going on in that particular area. If you will get totally green area, that means that area has forest and people are doing forest based activities. If you will get only the yellow part area, that means that area is indulging with the cultivation. So that's why it is the people are more indulged in the agricultural activities. So then the open scrubland where mostly sheep and goats rearing is practiced. Open scrub means the area which is used for the goat and sheep rearing. Then stony waste. Stony means the land which is mostly covered with the rock boulders and stones and where cultivation is not possible. Then sheet rock, a region mostly covered with the sheet of rock. Then rock outcrop, in such a region subsoil is exposed and cultivation is not possible. Broken ground. Broken ground is, it is common in the desert area, and this is the area of broken ground. Broken ground is, it is common in the desert area, and this is the area of gully erosion. Floods are commonly in these regions, so that's why these areas are called known for the broken ground. Lowlands. Lowlands are the plains which are situated at the lower level or the below the sea level, that in which they are having disappearing streams which are showing the desert or the limestone area. Presence of canal, wells, tube wells, tanks indicates the use of land for the agriculture and means of transport. A meandering river shows a flat area, and perennial lined well indicate a higher water table and are shown by the blue dots. Then means of irrigation. Means of irrigation are dependent on the relief or the land feature, and if you will get blue dots, that means those areas having wells and canals. So next is settlements. There are three types of settlements: nucleated, linear, and scattered. Nucleated when houses are closely packed together. Linear means in a line or in a road side you will get some houses, that are the linear. Scattered when you will get one settlement here, one settlement here, one settlement, that means totally scattered, dispersed. So the next is the inferring of occupation. Inferring of occupation according to the three bases. The first one is according to the size of settlement, and then is topography of the land, what type of topography it is. Then the last is the presence of quarry or the mines, and existence of communication links indicating the trade. All these things are included for the occupation. By this, our chapter is over. If you will get any query, you can ask me through comment section. And one thing more, I will give you a topographical sheet for with some questions to solve it through homework. I hope you understand. Thank you.